And welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald. As always, before we jump into the markets, my portfolio, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way real quick. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the strategy I'm following, the broker that I'm using, and the charting software that I'm using are linked in the description down below. And one thing I truly recommend, as always, is if you haven't done so, go and check out the Elliott Wave Principle, so the strategy that I'm trying to follow. You can read this wonderful book online for free when you use the link in the description down below, and you can use the same link to get yourself a physical copy. With that out of the way, we can jump on to this screen here. Yep. And as you can see, we have a break-even start into the day. We've honestly lost a little bit the last couple of weeks, so we have a bad start into the new year. I think by the end of the year, it's going to be fine, but it's still something to be aware of. Our portfolio hasn't changed much. We still have mostly our biggest position, the GameStop shares, and everything else is in comparison minor. And against those shares, we keep writing covered calls to earn premium. And are exposed to obviously the price fluctuations of the shares in the meantime. Now, if we jump onto a chart and actually jump to GameStop, we can see that we are down $10 from the high here. We were close to $35 and are now close to 26, so we're $9 down. We hit the minimum target here, assuming that this is a move that goes, that might be basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5. So it's possible that we start to see a recovery before we get another push down. It's possible that we go a little bit further down first. Overall, for us, it doesn't matter that much. I think long term, there will be more upside. Short term, we just want to play our covered calls right. So as long as until the 21st of March, GameStop stays below 36, we are actually happy. Now, we are going to wait basically a week or two before we roll those options again to benefit the most of theta decay. So we can see that technically we got around $84.90 per option, so that times 6, so let's say around $500 in premium. And during the first 2 weeks of those options, they should actually lose the most in value, which means we can close them out the cheapest to realize a big portion, ideally, of this premium while writing new calls for further premium. That said, so GameStop, our labeling doesn't change very much. We stick with where we are right now. So we just wait and see. We'll just have to reset the scaling here. Now, outside of GameStop, we'll have like yesterday, Barnes & Noble Education Inc. Unchanged, holding up quite well where other stocks have been suffering and are, like today actually seems a lot of things are showing reasonably okay. So partially recovering some of them. So Barnes & Noble Education Inc. also held quite stable the last couple of days. I'm still bullish, but we still need a little bit more data on the chart to make sense of this. While it was a very, very clear pattern here, and that could be constructed as a very clear three-wave corrective move, I'm not happy 100% with this leading diagonal move here. But as long as we stay above 831, we keep our bullish outlook and hold our 100 shares further. With that said, we can move on to immersion, where we are expecting further downside temporarily. We will keep holding our shares, and ideally, once we actually can write more calls to have a cash balance again, we will increase our position here. Costs, similar scenario, although here we have to update our labeling. I keep pushing it, but I'll have to push it a little further. Tuesdays are always a little tricky because this is my third live stream today after a 3-hour gaming stream in the morning, my daily Comment Chaos Live, and now our daily market mastery. So I'm lacking a little bit voice, and I still have a few other things to do, so we'll keep today short. NEO, we have our 100 shares. We are on a daily chart, so it will take a couple more days, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before we have confirmation. Did we now finally reach the bottom of this correction, or did we not? I think we have a fairly clear 5-wave move here, and that should only be the first wave, second wave, and we should get more upside here. I don't like that we already are at the 78.6 retracement level here. I prefer when we turn around at the 61.8 that we are not showing here right now anymore. But as long as we stay above the 336, 363 level here, our analysis stands, or at least in my opinion, it stands, and there should be more upside to come. Crypto, Bitcoin has recovered most of what it let go. I believe there's still more upside to come. Now looking at it on the daily chart, it looks like we had 5 waves, A, B, C, 3 waves, and we should now get further upward movement. Obviously, depending on what the orange buffoon in the White House does, that might be, like turn out differently. But right now I'm still bullish, and we're going to hold on to our small Bitcoin position. I would consider, we probably would have to relabel, but I would consider getting out of it anywhere between or around 120,000, but only if we have an alternative to throw it into. HNT keeps dropping. We are now hitting or getting close to our final target area. I think we have to go below 286 here a little bit at least, to get maybe to the 260 area to finish this bigger 3-wave corrective move. I might be wrong, and in that case it would decline further, but like right now I believe that we'll get actually the move further down here, and then we go further up. Storage, we are out of storage, so we don't care about that, to be honest. So XRP, we're just keeping an eye on it. There we might need to look closer. We had like a huge spike down yesterday with an almost instant recovery. Hard to label this, to be honest. So could be that this can be considered some kind of fluke, and we are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So not 100% sure yet. If we use Elliott Kennedy channeling technique, we would still be waiting for the breakout of the acceleration channel. That hasn't happened yet. I thought we might get to see it here. I called the end of wave 3 too early, and so we'll still have to wait. But I think it's due. It's also possible that we get another push up and then it becomes due, but again, I think it's due. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. XYO now having a little bit of green. We went lower here, so we have to adjust this here again. We now finally actually touched our so-called base channel. I'm not a fan of this move, so the correction here will be a little bit complex. I don't think we're finished yet considering how this looks, but long term I see more upside. However, one has to consider that we quickly have 50% potential risk here. And one also has to consider that we might need to relabel this part here, because obviously this wave drags out way too long in relation to the others. So we might be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where in that case 5 is the longest wave, and this being a separate independent correction that doesn't just correct this move, but is actually correcting the entire move. And we'll have to actually relabel the entire thing at some point. So because very likely I overlooked something or made a small mistake here, considering how long this wave has been in relation to the previous moves. Moving on, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Where do we have NVIDIA flying around? Probably in the monitoring list, So it doesn't look that good, to be honest. I mean, we had a new top here that didn't reach our target area, and this here looks like a 3-wave move, which makes this a little bit tricky. It looks like from a correction perspective that we might be looking at a flat correction where this is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, followed by another 3 waves down. And there we would need the, nope, that's the wrong one. I don't want to make this one. I want to adjust this one. There we would need the 161.8 level. So this one that we touched almost on the dot. So it is possible that the correction finished here, but that would be if we consider correcting this. But then also just from looking from here, we would be looking at a diagonal right now where wave 4, so wave 1, 2, 3, 4 retraces in the area of wave 1. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but on first glance, it looks like there is another push up coming here. SMCI, out of curiosity, I believe we're going further down. We will have confirmation if or when we break the low that we had here at 1725. Other than that, there's always the option that I'm wrong and we go further up, but I believe that this was only the beginning of the correction. If I'm wrong, I would believe that it is in a way that this is then wave A, wave B, wave C. So we would get an intermediate recovery before we finally crash down. But overall, I expect this stock to end at below $5. So that would be my estimate here. And what else can we look at? We had a look at Frontline after the earnings or not. Yeah, we had a look here and called them down. Visually, this might actually be the end. So we hit the 50% retracement. It is the top of the base channel, and it's a nice free wave move. There is not visually an extra pattern I could see that points towards my downside. It's more likely, I mean, we're looking at a weekly chart here. It's more likely that we're here looking at the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5. Now, the 4 could be unfinished, so there could be more downside here. So personally, I would wait to finish wave 1 and then the wave 2 and then try to enter in wave 2 if I would make the decision to invest here to then catch the wave 3 move up. Yeah, but yeah, like that's pretty much it. So I honestly, I'm sorry, but I'm just in no capacity today to go through labeling costs or relabeling XYO. So our portfolio is quite locked in. There are no questions in the chat. So I guess we're gonna call it a day here. It's a very, very short stream, surprisingly, but hopefully we're able to get your daily update. Again, if you are looking for my predictions of what I think specific stocks are doing, feel free to ask them next time during the stream in the chat. And outside of that, I'm going to wish each and every one of you a pleasant rest of the day and then see you all tomorrow with another episode of Daily Market Mastery. Till then, bye-bye.